and welcome to episode 57 of the Knit Sip Happy podcast. My name is Nancy and I'm coming to you from the east coast of Canada, just outside of Moncton, New Brunswick. Hello. It is Monday, November 3rd. It's very early. It's just after 8 a.m., I do believe. Our time changed, our clocks changed on Saturday night, and we have Brad has a digital alarm clock on his side of the bed. He didn't change the time, so I got up this morning. It said 5:52 a.m. I thought, oh, that's all right. That's okay. I can get up and start my day. No. I come out of the bedroom and he was already up. I come out of the bedroom. He's like, why are you up? And I'm like, well, it's almost 6 o'clock. He's like, no, it's almost 5 o'clock. So we had a little scuffle this morning about why he hadn't changed the time on his clock. Anyway, so I've been waiting for enough light to be able to podcast. He has gone to work. The house is quiet. You can see I am in the living room, so I need a quiet house. My craft room is in a state of flux. I have started working in there and moving stuff out. I'm actually looking at a pile of stuff behind the camera that has come out here to the living room to live until I get some more shelving in there. But the bed is out. I took a little video yesterday before we took the bed out, but I'm going to wait and I'll just kind of do it all at once so that if you don't care to see how my craft room is developing, then you can just fast forward that bit when I put it all together on a future podcast. Anyway, that was awfully rambly already. I will have everything that I talk about linked below. There are chapters, all of my Ravelry project pages. If I miss anything, just let me know and I will get that updated. I'm looking down at my notes. Well, let's get this out of the way first because I've already told you it is barely 8 a.m. So it is water. It is too early even for me to consider even pouring a glass of something that I could have with juice and pass off as a mimosa. It's a Monday morning. So water it is. What I'm wearing. I'm going to stand up and give you a little tour. My Misurina is finished and was finished for the PEI Fibre Festival that happened October 23rd to 25th. So that was a week and a half ago. And we'll talk about that more later. But I'm going to stand up and give you a tour of my Misurina. All right, here she is. So I did the texture pattern all over the body and the sleeve. Beautiful yoke. I did the ladder back jacquard technique, and I'll talk about sizing and modifications when I sit down, but I just wanted to show you full length. So natural waist here, hip bones here. So it's just a little below so that I can wear it tucked in with a wide leg jean if I want to. Nice flat back. Probably can't hear me. Full length sleeves. All right, I'm going to sit down. I'll be right back. All right, I don't know if you're in the same position that you were earlier, but this is where we're at. I just pulled up my Ravelry page on my tablet so I can just tell you some more details about this. I'm in love with this. I am very, 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 very happy with my Misurina. If you remember when I started this in September, I was substantially off gauge on purpose. The gauge for Caitlin Hunter, I think was 20 or 21 stitches over 4 inches with fingering weight yarn. And it was a short sleeve kind of airy t-shirt. That's not what I wanted for this time of year. And also the double thickness yoke is too warm for me. So I purposefully decided this was going to be a more 2 or 3 season garment for me, spring, fall, winter, and did it with longer sleeves. And my stitch gauge was 25 stitches unblocked, so probably more like 24 stitches blocked over the 4 inches. So I cast on the size 7 to get something more like the size 4. I also wanted substantially less positive ease in the garment. I don't like my sweaters too big, and I just don't find, I don't like the way it feels on me. So I went with quite a lot less ease. I used yarn. I used Cascade Heritage in the spruce green color. I don't have the tag in my this little bag anymore, but it'll all be linked to my Ravelry project page if you're looking for this color. And the other one that I used for the color work is Cozy Posy in the colorway New Brunswick. It's from her Canada collection. So these are living in a sock bag because I'm going to knit myself a pair of socks with the leftovers, because there's nothing more cringy than a matching pair of socks to go with your sweater. So that is in Dream Knitting, an early shot of that. I'm just going to get rid of it out of my basket so I don't show you again. So I used just over 3 skeins of the main colorway, and I used about 60 grams of the contrast color. So I've got lots left for socks. So I also, when I divided for the sleeves, I put more stitches on the front of the garment than the back, because my front is bigger than my back. We talk about this all the time, but I'm going to put a link up above for a little tutorial that I've done on how I modify my knits, primarily for my pear-shaped body, but there's also a modification on yoke sweaters and how to adjust your stitch count from the front to the back when you divide for sleeves, when you separate for sleeves. So it's super handy if you're ever looking to modify. I like to go with my under bust measurement instead of my full bust measurement. That gives me a better fit around the neck and the shoulders. So that's another little tip. I was talking to some people, I've been talking to people at yarn festivals who have been very kindly complimenting garments that I'm wearing. And so I've been giving out lots of hints and tips in different places about how I like to get my fit. And it's trial and error, and you knit a lot of things, and some things you go, ugh, and some things you go, wow, I really like this. I'm gonna keep that, and hopefully you kept good notes in Ravelry and can use it again. I picked up a few extra stitches. The stitch count for my sleeve pickup was 96. I picked up 100 just to make sure I got a nice clean transition in the underarm there. And long sleeves, I just did all the way down to the end and just did a rapid decrease round, and then did twisted rib cuff with an Italian sewn bind off. And the bottom is also twisted rib with an Italian sewn bind off. I had to do a cut there because I flashed you. I apologize. You won't have seen it, but you should have seen my face. I might do an outtake on that because another modification that I usually do on my garments is for the ribbing at the bottom of the sweater. I don't go down to the recommended ribbing size needle. I stay on my main gauge needle to do my bottom ribbing, just so it doesn't pull in. That way it's more like a straight line for the ribbing. I don't like the ribbing to pull in around my hips. So I think that is all of my modifications. I knit this on a 3mm needle with 2.5mm needles for the ribbing when I did do it. So yeah, it's a lovely gauge. It's a lovely sweater. It was a time investment, and I'm very happy that I got it finished for PEI Fibre Festival. It was a group knit for us. So I'm actually going to put a picture in here of us all wearing our sweaters. And then I'm going to put a video in, it's this way. So I'm going to insert a video of us all doing our runway walk that we did We attracted quite an audience in the marketplace while we were doing this, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm just going to insert that here. Right, so Misurina is the first finished object, and I thought that was going to be the only finished object that I had, but because I was having to do so much knitting on it. But thankfully, well, I had to do some homework for my Afterthought Heel sock class, so I have some socks that have been loitering around. These ones still don't have the ends woven in. I'm just going to put it on a blocker. So this is, excuse me, a self-striping sock set from Lay Family Yarns. Beach huts. And last time you saw it, I had one that was finished and one that was still a tube. I was putting in an Afterthought heel, but I wanted to practice a technique that I've been teaching, which is putting in short row gussets into an Afterthought heel to give it more depth across this heel diagonal measurement, which can be quite short in an Afterthought heel. Anyway, I used my Smoke Gets in Your Eyes pattern just for a little bit of texture on the front. And this sock set was a 50 gram of the self-striping and 20 gram mini. And I still have quite a bit left of the mini because I decided I had a couple of stripes left over from getting matching socks. Hang on, I should show you the other one. I do have two. So I managed to get my socks to match, and I just had a turquoise stripe and a coral stripe left. So I put in a stripe of the coral on this one and a stripe of the turquoise on this one. More ends to weave in, but that's one of the cons for an Afterthought heel, especially when you're doing all kinds of contrast stuff, is there are a lot of extra ends to weave in around that heel. So I didn't feel strong enough to do any of this yet, so they're kind of sitting beside me at my knitting place as a reminder to have their ends woven in. But so this, yeah, I can't wait to get these socks into rotation. They are just so blinking happy. And a big thank you to Kelly, lovely Kelly from Lay Family Yarns. When she sent me the yarn that I was knitting one of their Advent designs in, she put some extra things in the box, and one of them was this beautiful sock set. So I will always think of Kelly when I wear these socks. The other socks that I had finished that had been hanging around for a while are, I started knitting a sock tube when my daughter Sam got married last summer. So the week that she got married, we were going to be doing a lot of driving back and forth to where they live in Fredericton, about 2 hours away, and a lot of kind of sitting around and chatting and planning, as well as all the busy stuff. Oh, and I've completely forgotten the color of this. Hang on one second. I'm just going to pull it up. This is Turtle Pearl yarns. And Samantha already has her pair. So I knit a tube and I divided it into 4 sock tubes, so that then Sam got a pair and I got a pair. Excuse me, I'm just gonna pull up my Ravelry again and find out the name of this. As soon as I read it, I'm gonna go, oh. And of course it's gonna be back further than I think it is. There it is. Kiss Kiss. The colorways Kiss Kiss. So I knew I wanted to do it for wedding week. And this was another one that was sitting with a cuff and a toe on it that was just waiting for me to put the heel in again so I could practice this afterthought short row gusset that goes in the corner here. So I do love afterthought heels for the amazing way that you can place them. So I split this chocolate brown stripe perfectly in half to put that heel in. It just happened to be the spot that I needed for my foot measurement. So rewarding. Afterthought heels don't fit me very well as they're knit. So I'm always looking for ways for better fit and better engineering. So this is a method that's already I was working on doing this myself and launching it myself, and then realized there was already a method out there. I have tweaked it a little bit, but Talvi Knits, Susanna Winter, I do believe. It'll be linked below on how to put short row gussets in your afterthought heels. It's a picture and written tutorial, but really valuable, really good. And if you ever take my classes, then there's some video support there. But yeah, so this is one of the classes I taught in PEI, so I just wanted to do some extra sock heels to make sure that I was double checking my instructions. I recorded a video tutorial and just to make sure I was comfortable with the technique. I have done it quite a few times, but it had been a while and I just needed a refresher. Anyway, so I have 2 new pairs of socks to go into my sock stash, which is excellent. And they both have great memories around them, which is nice as well. Get rid of that blocker. Okay. My last finished object is a test knit, but it's the flannel crush pattern. It's by Samantha Guerin Designs, and there was a cowl version or a shawl version. So I signed up to test the cowl version back in middle of October, and then didn't really think about the ramifications for what October was like. But thankfully the test period is not until the test deadline isn't until the end of November, I do believe, because the shawl obviously is a much bigger knit. So I'll put a picture in here of Samantha's version that we saw for the test knit. And she's asked that we don't show finished objects on social media, but I emailed her and asked her if I could show it here on the podcast, and she said yes. So you won't be seeing this again until it comes out at, I do believe, the end of November, beginning of December. It is sport weight using handspun. And I haven't mattress stitched this, so I'm just going to show you it. I couldn't decide on colors. I had 4 or 5 different color combinations laid out. I did kind of a group chat with some friends going, help, what should I do? But this actually wasn't the winning vote, but I decided I wanted to try this color combination together, and I'm so happy I did. Isn't that amazing? So it is a bandana style cowl. I need to mattress stitch up these 2 edges so that it sits this way. So I haven't done that yet. Mattress stitch is not my favorite thing to do because I usually cock it up. It is knit from here and then down. So the background color, or what we're calling the main color, is Yarn Indulgences Woolstead Sport in, I can't remember what the color green was, but a really lovely, juicy, limey, acidy green. And then the hand spun is something I spun, I think in COVID, 2020. Fibre was from Liz at Good Vibrations in St. John. If you can hear background noise, I apologize. The ice maker in the fridge right there is doing its thing. So it is blues and greens and reds and burgundies. I believe it's a 3-ply. Oh, I was looking for this to do the mattress stitching this morning because I thought, well, while I'm waiting for the sun to come up, I'll mattress stitch this cowl together, and I couldn't find this flippin' green yarn. I didn't think to look in the project bag. No, I don't. I thought I might have the tag in here telling me what the hand spun was. I'm pretty sure it was a 3-ply. It's superwash merino. Liz from Good Vibrations had a fiber club in COVID and was just sending it out vac sealed letter mail. And this was one of them. And I thought, not really my jam, but let's spin it up. And I enjoyed it, but seeing it knit up and the way it color shifts has been really, really rewarding. So this pattern is super addictive. I think I knit it in 5 days. I took it to PEI Fibre Festival with me and knit it on the drive. I was knitting it a little bit while we were sitting and chatting in the evenings, then quickly realized I couldn't count. while we were chatting and, having a little sip here and there. So I ended up having to put it away, but I still got it done very quickly. So I'm counting this as a finished object. I just need to mattress stitch it. So you will see this again. Probably you'll only see it on social media, on Facebook and Instagram when the pattern comes out and I share it. Yeah, I flippin' love it. All right, that is the Flannel Crush Cowl pattern coming late November, early December. So that is it for finished objects. And we're gonna slide right into WIPS with another Flannel Crush Cowl, because as you can see, I still have quite a lot left of this hand spun, and I had some other color options to go with this yarn. So I just pulled another one out to give it a try. And it is Woolstead Sport again from Yarn Indulgences. So it's most like a tonal, slightly semi-tonal blue, denim-y blue. And I thought they would work well together. And I have to be honest, the first few repeats I was uncertain because I started at a section that was green and blue, and it felt like it wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. But then I started coming up into the darker blues and burgundies, and the repeat is getting longer, and I just feel like, yeah, I do like this. So I'm going to carry on with this. Like I said, I was going to rip it out. Ooh, the sun's might be a little bright. We have solar panels right out front here, and the sun is coming from the back over the house and hitting the solar panel and blinding me. Yeah, so this is just for funsies, because I found the pattern so addictive and I just wanted to do another one. I kind of came home from PEI Fibre Festival, and I'm in a zone right now where I've got a pattern releasing on Friday. We'll talk about that later. I've got a super secret December pattern that is in testing right now. I am fundamentally done my yarn work for the year, and I kind of got a bit scattered, and as you will see in the upcoming projects, because I've got a lot of WIPs on the needles right now, because I just kind of wanted to knit all of the things and I couldn't settle on one thing. So this was one of them. And then let's see where we're going. This one's almost finished. This is in a Christmas bag, a little bobbins Christmas bag. So this is a pair of socks. Brad is going to Newfoundland to visit his family in a couple of weeks, and I have, oh, that's what else I wanted to do. I have one pair of the slipper socks for my mother-in-law who watches. I'm going to try and get another pair done while Brad is going so he can take them both over to her. And my sister-in-law who also watches. Velma, if you don't want to see these, look away. I didn't, oh yeah, I do. Hang on. I was going to say I don't have a small enough blocker for these, but I'll make this work. So, yeah, they're a little snug. This is leftover yarns from my stash. If you've been around, you will have seen this sock yarn before, the main yarn. I had 42 grams left of this. So I've paired it with this beautiful golden yellow. I've worked toe up because I'm trying to learn my lesson on leftovers. Leftovers should always be knit toe up so I don't run out of yarn. Toe up, and I've just inserted one of my columns from the collection of columns. I did number 1, the box, which is just a knit purl texture. It's a little hard to see in this busy yarn, but it's just a little detail on the front and just keeps me knitting. As we know, vanilla sometimes for me can be kryptonite. Looking great on the camera. I just turned the heel on the second one, and I'm working up the leg. I actually cast this on before PEI, and I will tell you for why. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, but I like to modify because I find the Fish Lips Kiss heel is very small. So I've created a mini gusset. I've increased stitches here. So I've got a gusset here, and then I've decreased them here. So what I've done is I've given some extra room across this widest part of the foot. So increasing here, decreasing to here. And so that section between my fingers has more stitches. Obviously the widest point is right here. And that was something else I was talking about during one of my classes, so I just wanted to make sure, and I hadn't done it for a while. I don't do a lot of short row heels, either Fish Lips Kiss or Shadow Wrap, because I do find they need modifying, which isn't a deal breaker. Again, it doesn't break up the stripes, which is lovely. You can keep the progression going. Speaking of breaking stripes, this stitch marker right here, there was a knot in the yarn, and it didn't look like it was going to match, but I think it did. See, there's a red there. There's a red in this one that isn't in this one. But somehow the stripes still match up again by the time we get to this corally and then up into the yellow. So I'm not quite sure what happened as far as their dye. But as I said, the break was here. And I just snipped the knot out and then wove in the ends there. So the yarn is, this is all I have left. It is Lang Super Socks. I love a good commercial yarn. And when I've got 40 grams left, on a 56 stitch cast on, size 7 foot, it's enough to get a decent leg length. So those are almost finished. Probably get them done this week, and then I can get them blocked, do the second pair of slippers for my mother-in-law, and then they're ready to be packed for Brad to go. So I have a week to myself in the house. What will I get up to? I can tell you, no house cleaning, quite a lot of knitting, and going to work when I have to. What else haven't we seen? We've seen before. Oh yes. So I showed you this last time. This is sock marl base from Deborah at Yarn Indulgences. This was a sock that I had cast on at Knit City, Vancouver for me to knit in the booth while we were just hanging out. And I finished the first sock at PEI. So it's just vanilla, basic easy knitting with a heel flap and gusset. Just stuff I can do practically in my sleep. And I cast on the second one barely. I would like to get this pair finished this month because I'm thinking they're going to be a gift for somebody in December. So if you're new around here, I have a rule. I don't knit for anybody else in December. So as far as gift knitting or making of any kind, it needs to be done in November or it's not happening. December for me is Advents, knitting what I want to knit without any pressure, unless it's self-imposed. Yeah, so I don't gift knit in December at all. It's the best gift I've given myself. I think this will be the 4th year in a row I've done it. Possibly 5th, I can't remember, but it's the best thing I do for myself in December is no gift knitting, just fun things that I want to knit. So this has to get done in November. I have got a new cast on. I'm just going to show you. I was very kindly sent this book to have a look at and give my opinion on. It's called Knit in One by Marie Green. It's using one skein patterns, one skein of yarn to make patterns. So beanies, socks, shawls, and more. So it's very handy ruler and needle sizes on the front. Olive Knits. Marie Green is Olive Knits online. And I'll show you what I'm knitting first. I am knitting the honeycomb hat. So it's one skein of fingering weight yarn. I need a fingering weight hat with no mohair and no bobble on it for going out to walk as the weather's getting cooler. I've been walking with a baseball hat on, which is fine, but doesn't keep my ears warm, and it's starting to get cold out there. So I don't have a fingering weight hat that doesn't have a bobble on it, or pom-pom, or doesn't have mohair, and that's not what I want. I just wanted something easy to wear, easy to give a quick wash to, lay out to dry when I sweat through it, because so I cast on the honeycomb hat. I had marked a couple of other things. This really cute bandana cowl. There's mitts in here, full shawls, thicker weight. These really cute mitts. So yeah, I'm really enjoying knitting the hat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to knit the hat and then I'm going to give this away. Let me put this book down and show you my hat. So I wanted something, we all have those skeins, those precious skeins that we pick up at yarn shows or souvenirs, and they just feel too good to knit. I have 3 or 4 different colorways from Bird Street Yarn in my stash. This one I got 2 other colors at the Southern Wool Show when I was there in August of 2023, September of 2023, whenever it was. So this is their sock base 75/25s. But when I saw the name of the color, I thought, well, that's just perfect for, cover my face. That's just perfect for a walking hat. Strut your stuff. Yes, I will. Getting hot and sweaty. And it is this beautiful, I think it's kind of peacock based. So it's this gorgeous blue fundamentally, but then you get these pops of acid green and darker blues and pinks. Kind of think that iridescent color scheme on a peacock's tail feathers. I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that's what it's from. And yeah, I'm really enjoying knitting this. Just to see the pops of color come up. All right, so it's on a small circular, of course it is. So it had 4 inches of rib, because this is going to get cuffed, and then just this honeycomb cable, which probably isn't terribly visible in this speckled variegated yarn on screen, but in person it is. So we've just got these honeycomb cables happening. I've got a cable needle on the back. They're 2/2s, and working in a 16-inch circular like this, I just don't find I can do it without a cable needle. So I'm using a cable needle, which is just tucked in the rib so it's there when I need it. And yeah, the first couple of repeats were a pain in the butt because I wasn't paying attention. So I ended up doing 2 in the same direction instead of going, they're supposed to be like this and then like this, the cables. So I was doing 2 like this, and then came to the next repeat, and then things weren't lining up. Anyway. So once I got the 2 first, or the first full pattern repeat done, now I can read my knitting and I know which direction I'm supposed to be going, and I'm golden now. But the first couple repeats, I had to be quiet and focused and not have anything interesting on in the background. So that is in progress, and hopefully that'll be done this month because I'm going to need it. I'm uncertain if I've underknit the length on these sleeves. I've only worn this sweater once. So when I kind of do that, it comes back down. But when I'm moving, I find it ends up a little, I don't know if that's a bad thing. I haven't decided yet. So I may be ripping this out and adding a bit more in. Probably not. If you know me at all, probably not. Okay, what else have I got in my magic basket here? I have got, my hand spun socks. I almost didn't show these to you because I'm not convinced I've done any more, but I don't think I showed it to you last time either. So this is a pair of socks that went with me to Europe back in September, with just a ribbing panel down the side. Top down, heel flap and gusset, and I am on the heel flap on the second sock. As I say, I can't remember if I've knit any on this since I was here last, but I don't think I pulled it out to show you last time because I hadn't done anything. I knew that for certain. So these are simmering in the background. There's no deadline for this. They're just for me. So if they kind of hang out and don't get finished until December, that's fine. No, don't put them back in the basket. I have a huge pile of project bags down there. I think I'm just about done. So this is another turtle pearl project that I worked on. I took this to PEI Fibre Festival because this is what I was knitting on when I couldn't knit on my flannel crush cowl when I was too chatty or too tipsy. This is the perfect situation on a 9-inch circular. Oh, I just pulled stitches off the needles. Excuse me. There we go. Colorway is Dream Room from Turtle Pearl. It's a sock set. So I got the yellow for the heels and the toes. And I just did a little stripe on the cuff. Probably didn't need to. That might have been excessive, but whatever. So Turtle Pearl the yarn comes in 2 perfectly matching skeins. So this is the one I haven't started yet. I find with Turtle Pearl, her yardage and with a contrast, I can get 2 full pairs of socks like I did with the Kiss Kiss colorway. So I will knit the tube with a cuff all the way down, and then I'll put a cuff on the other end. And then I'll do the same for the second one. So the top cuff from each pair will be a matching pair, and the bottom cuff from each tube will be a matching pair. Does that make sense? I find that the easiest to make sure the stripes stay matching. So each of whoever the recipients are, well, one is for me, will get a matching pair. I don't know who the other one's going to be for yet. I might just have 2 pairs. We'll see. So that's just been hanging around in the background when I need brainless knitting. So it's probably a long-term. Oh, movies. Samantha and I will be going to Wicked later this month, so this will be coming with me to Wicked. Yes. Movie 2 of Wicked. Yay! Very excited. That is it for WIPS, active WIPS. I think that's pretty much it for WIPS. Oh, hang on. I did pull something when I was tidying up my craft room. I was trying to organize some things. I still got a long way to go with some organizational stuff, but yeah. I have this blanket, this crochet blanket that I made back in, I can't remember what year, it must have been 2019, maybe 2020. I got a Advent Fibre calendar. So I did a 2-ply with the colors together and made just like, I can't remember what I did now. Doesn't matter. I had a fiber advent. All these colors are fiber that I spun into yarn. And then I remember, I plied it with white mohair. So I took the single and I plied it with white mohair. I thought maybe I'd knit it with mohair, but I didn't. I plied it with a natural undyed mohair. So I've got a little bit of fluff happening. But it was not really big enough. It wasn't even big enough for a lap blanket. Let me just... So it's kind of that wide, and so it's probably 3 feet by 4 feet, maybe 2.5 feet by 3.5 feet. I did a corner to corner crochet blanket, really enjoyed the process, and then went, that's not really big enough. So I'd thought about, crocheting, just doing extra rows on each side and the top instead of going around and round. Well, I decided I have this very deep stash, seawall fibers. I can't remember if it's worsted or DK, but I have this kind of really light green, greeny yellow, and a darker, more emeraldy green. So I've just been playing. I did one round of grannies in the green, and then I did a single crochet of the lighter color. This is a single crochet of the green. I'm almost at the end of this round, so I think I'm going to do a granny in the lighter green, and I just want to build this out. I'm going to go for as much yarn as I have and just kind of make a border so that this blanket is more usable. So I had fun with crocheting the last couple of days, which was nice. I've been doing that in the evening, right before bed, because I find it very relaxing. This is my end of round, beginning of round. This is where I stopped last night because I needed to make a decision on what I was going to do for the next round. So I will get this finished and usable at some point. Not that I need another blanket. I have a pile of blankets and I'm the only one who uses them, but I love making them. All right. Next, let's do design chat. So this is, I'm going to talk about a new sock design that's coming out. And that's pretty much all I have to talk about for now. I am the December designer for the bombed yarns in Tasmania. I think I was telling you last time the tale of woe, because the yarn was stuck in the postal system and it got returned to Tasmania, and I've just told Sarah not to bother sending it right now because I don't trust it. I think it's fine, but coming from such a long distance, I'm just concerned for the time wise. It doesn't make sense for me to get it anyway. So that's percolating in the background and is testing, and I won't be able to share that with you until I get the go-ahead from Sarah. So I may not be in the same position as I was just a few seconds ago, because this is editing me that's come back to redo this little section because I made a complete pig's ear out of it. This is talking about the new DK toe-up sock pattern. They are going to be called the Wild Geese socks. And this fun knit purl texture that runs down the front has triangle motif of stockinette just running down the front, and it made me think about the V formation of Canada geese. And I couldn't get that out of my head, so I started out with flying geese, but there's a lot of patterns on Ravelry with using that phrase flying geese because of the quilt pattern. So I had been talking to my test knitters. They came up with some great ideas, the funniest being cobra chicken socks. Did you know that Canadian geese are sometimes called cobra chickens? Because they're mean. While hilarious, I thought most people wouldn't know what it was because I didn't even know what it was. And I'm a Canadian. So these are the wild geese socks. They'll be releasing on Friday, November 7th. From the 7th to the end of day on the 14th, all of the proceeds will be going to Veterans Transition Network. They are a charity in Canada who help Canadian military personnel transition to civilian life, which is, and anything to support military members is close to my heart. My husband Brad served in the Navy, and our son-in-law Rob is currently serving in the Canadian Armed Forces. So this is our DK toe-up sock pattern. So I have taken the formula for the fingering weight socks and reworked the numbers so they work for DK sock numbers. So toe up, fun contrast stripe, working into this knit purl texture, and then we start the gusset increases. There's a formula in there based on your row gauge and your foot length, and it works. Trust the formula. I promise you it will work. It will feel like you're starting your increases way too early, but it works. So up the gusset increases, we do a little heel turn here, and then we incorporate the heel flap and decrease the gusset increases at the same time. Up the leg, we're just using the purl ridges on the back instead of doing all of the motif along the back. Just those purl ridges, working way up to ribbing with a nice couple rounds and a bind off in the contrast. So the yarns are from lovely Megan at Bramble Ridge. She's going to have yarn in her shop. I will have her linked below. So this is Bramble Ridge. And the two colors I've used are The Price of Eggs and Robin as the contrast. So The Price of Eggs. So it's 225 meters per 100 grams. It's an 85-15 blend. Boy, is it nice. It's got a really nice, it's a little softer than the 75-25. Really enjoyed working with it. So Megan will have yarn in her shop, and I will be raising money. All the proceeds will be going to the Veteran Transition Network, as I just mentioned. And this is a super fun, super quick DK sock. If you love the toe-up fit of the fingering, this will do the same thing for you and faster. It's very addictive. There's more of these in my future for sure. I've had people asking if I'll be translating any of my fingering patterns into more DK patterns, and I certainly could do that. So we will see where this goes, but November 7th to the 14th, raising money for charity, and only $5 Canadian. So if you're anywhere else in the world other than Australia and New Zealand, you're usually getting a pretty good deal. All right, wild geese socks. Now I need to finish editing. I got to do the photography for these socks finally, and get the pattern ready for launch. Okay, let me check my notes. So I got back from PEI and went, oh, I need to spin. I haven't spun in so long because it was busy with the incognito socks launching and then getting prepped for my classes, plus doing my day job. I got sick since I've been here with you last. I think all the craziness just caught up with me, and I came down with a really bad cold, and felt very sorry for myself for a few days. Slept a lot and bounced back, as we do. So I finished plying this. I was spinning this. I will have shown you 2 or 3 episodes ago. This is a superwash merino nylon blend for socks. So I have 3-plied it. So it needs a good wash and a thwack, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. I just whipped it off the wheel and started something new. because I wanted to. So what I grabbed, I was just looking for some fun with no real plan, and this is what I grabbed. This is 1/3 of the braid that I had. I am spinning a 3-ply. This is from the Fibre Imp. This was the order that I did with my friends back in Tour de Fleece, I do believe. So this is called Electric Slide, 60% Polworth, 20% nylon, 20% bamboo. I'm doing a 3-ply because it's probably going to be socks, but you never know. It could be colorwork in a yoke. Insert laugh track here. I always say I'm going to use my lovely colorwork for the contrast color in a yoke, and I haven't done it yet. And I get teased terribly by my friends. So that is what what it looks like before I start. And then this is the single so far. So this is the first bobbin. I have a second bobbin about 2/3 done, I think. This is, I was just gonna find. Able to spin this beautifully fine. Partly because of the fiber and the prep, but also my Eel Wheel Nano by Dreaming Robots, which will be linked below, is there's something about it that allows me to spin incredibly fine, which makes this perfect for a 3-ply. Fingering weight, fingering to sport, depending how it fluffs up. But I do love, before I started crocheting 2 or 3 nights ago, my last hour before bed was spinning, and it's just so relaxing and meditative. It's not when you start spinning, it's absolutely horrible, sweaty hand, grip of death, stressed out, shoulders up around your ears. But like anything else, as we get more proficient and more comfortable, like I said, this becomes very, very soothing and rhythmic for me. So that has been a great joy in the last couple of weeks. That's it for spinning. Yesterday, I had a whole bunch of things to do, but I had planned on a completely crafty afternoon. So I wanted to do something different. I wanted to start a new embroidery because this is on the gift list I need to get accomplished. This is for Sam for Christmas. I can't show it on Instagram because she follows me there. She doesn't watch these videos. So I'll put a picture in here of what it's going to look like. Beautiful wildflower mason jar. So I grabbed my fabric and traced the design on there yesterday. Went to put it in the hoop that I'd bought for it, and the hoop is too small. I have a 5-inch hoop. I need a 6-inch hoop. So when I go into town tomorrow to do all my running around, I need to find a 6-inch hoop so I can start this. So my stitching afternoon kind of got waylaid. But when I was cleaning my craft room, I found a teeny tiny little cross stitch project that I found from a free online PDF. All that was missing was the very light, almost white color in the gingham. So I had to do all the plain white gingham, and then, or it's not actually light, it's this very white, it's this very, very light pink. So I finished the gingham bits, I did the little hearts, and I stitched in love. So this will be going on my Welsh dresser in February for Valentine's. I'm not overly seasonal that way, but this was just super cute. Like I said, it was just a free little PDF. I will have it linked below. I'm pretty sure I can find it. I had pulled this out to work on in the summer because I had found it and I knew it was very close to being finished, and I couldn't find it online anymore. And I knew I had taken a screenshot of it, but I couldn't find that either. Well, when I was cleaning out my Google Photos file before PEI, doesn't matter, a couple weeks ago, I found it. So I knew I had the pattern. Anyway, so I finished this yesterday, and that kind of scratched the stitching bug for me yesterday until I can get the right size hoop for that embroidery. So a teeny tiny bit of stitching content, but I will have more for you next time because I will be working on that wildflower. I love showing you the picture. Okay, spinning. Now we are going to chat PEI Fibre Festival. I will have some footage for you at the very end. I did a little bit of walk around the marketplace. We arrived on Thursday lunchtime. I went with Deborah from Yarn Indulgences. I helped her set up her booth and get organized. There was a reception in the evening for vendors and teachers that I went to. Had a delightful island cocktail. It was using the raspberry cordial and the Anne of Green Gables raspberry cordial and vodka or gin and a little bit of fizzy water. It was delicious. I very much enjoyed Stephanie Pearl McPhee, the yarn harlot, was there, and got to spend some time talking to her and being thoroughly entertained by her opinions about Anne of Green Gables and people and tourists saying that they're going to Anne of Green Gables' house and she's a fictional character. Anyway, it was highly entertaining and a lot of fun, and I was a bit gobsmacked when Stephanie walked up to me and called me by name. Yeah. Just the little things that tickle me. That was Thursday night. Friday was all day at the show. Our friends started to arrive on Friday. Most were only coming in Friday. Some came in Thursday. Most came in on Friday. I wasn't feeling fantastic on Friday, and that was making me a little bit nervous. I taught both of my classes on Saturday. So Friday, I was feeling a bit just not myself. I was tired and I just wasn't feeling fantastic. So I was a little worried about Saturday. I did have a great day Friday. I spent some time sitting out knitting with friends in the lobby when it wasn't busy in the marketplace. We went out for dinner on Friday night, and then we sat in the lobby knitting Friday night, watching the Blue Jays on different devices. I'm not a sports fan of any kind, so. But yeah, we had a huge group knit. Like I said, whatever footage I have, I'll put it to the end. I did pick up some things at PEI, not much. Again, I think the impending doom of having to empty out my craft room just it gave me a bit of decision paralysis. But I did pick up, I went to see Merit from Gobsmacked Yarn. And I loved her. I used her yarn Undercover Orchid. It's actually right here. Undercover Orchid. It's her Eco Sock. No, there we go. And I just loved working with this yarn. It's got a very kind of soft hand to it, but it's robust, but it's just got a softness on, it feels like surface level. Anyway, I loved working with this yarn so much, I grabbed 2 other skeins. So this, ironically, is this, but she had the recipe wrong somehow. She explained it to me, but I didn't really understand. So this is Undercover Orchid that I used in my incognito socks. This is to lift the spirit, and it's just more fuchsia, more bright, and yeah, I loved it. So had to have that one. And Nearly Nocturnal, these blue greens. It reminds me of the kilt I used to wear at my Catholic high school. We used to have to wear, I think it was a dress Gordon with these blues and greens. Had some whites and yellow in as well, but that's what it kind of reminded me of. So I just picked these up to go into my stash. and they will be happy additions. And then I went to see lovely Amanda at Red Island Fibre. And this is an 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon, 115 grams, 425 yards. I do love a BFL nylon sock yarn in just this really nice purple, variegated purple with blues and probably like ultraviolet colors. That's all I bought. I was very kindly gifted yarn. My friend Robin has started to dye yarn. So she is Color Commando yarns. And this beautiful variegated, my colors, tealy, bluey green with some stitch markers on the end. And a very nice card saying very nice things. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, lovely. What else is in my little basket? Oh, I did buy something else. Incredibly practical. I needed new dryer balls. We had a set of 3. Now we only have 2. I have a feeling one of Samantha's dogs, we have run into them with them walking around with my dryer balls in their mouth. So either one of them ate one or just put it somewhere we haven't found it. So we're down to 2. So I bought a new set of 3 from Legacy Lane. They are alpaca dryer balls. So now that I've shown you, they can go into use. I came home and Brad was helping me bring my things and I said, oh, I got you a gift. Have some dryer balls. So these can go into service now. And one of the other teachers was Bonnie Baker, I do believe. She's a crochet teacher. And she gave me this lovely notebook with a pen and post-it notes. And how handy is that? So I'm sure Bonnie doesn't watch, but I said a big thank you at the show when she gave it to me. We had gotten to chatting, I can't remember about what, but we're talking a few times in different places around the show. So that's it. My basket is empty. Just I kept my tag as an instructor at PEI Fibre Festival. My classes went very well. They were on the smaller side, but that's okay. I had 7 in one and 5 in the other. Yeah, it all went really well. And yeah, I am going to be, goodness, sorry, I just drifted away there. Trying to think about what I need to talk about next. So coming up, Saturday, November 29th, Tracey from Tracys Rolling Yarn Shop and Non-Rolling Yarn Shop in Sydney, Nova Scotia. We've been chatting. Anyway, turns out I'm going to be there on Saturday, November 29th, hanging out for the day, but I'm also going to teach one of my sock classes. I believe the Sock Heel Clinic, but we haven't finalized that yet. But I did want to put it out there. Keep an eye out if you are in Nova Scotia. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. You can also follow Tracys Rolling Yarn Shop. So Tracey's, I've talked about her before and shown her trailer. She hauls a yarn trailer around to different parts of the Maritimes. But earlier this year, she opened a bricks and mortar store as well as having her trailer. And I haven't made it up to her bricks and mortar store yet. But I thought now was the time before the snow starts and the weather and the roads get a bit ick. So right now the plan is that Deborah from Yarn Indulgences will be there doing a trunk show. We haven't really firmed up all the details, but I'm going to throw caution to the wind and talk about it anyway. But I will be there all day on Saturday, November 29th. I believe store hours are 10 until 4 on Saturday. And I'm really excited to go to the store and be there and be able to teach my class again and hang out with knitters, sit in the lovely sofa and just chit chat. And yeah, really excited for that. The other thing I need to remember to tell you is about the Heart and Soul Sock Club that's being run by Heart to Heart Knitting Fiber Arts, yes, in Paulsbo, Washington. Lovely Lisa is running a sock club for the year 2026, and they're all going to be focusing on different ones of my patterns, existing patterns. So 11 existing patterns, and I'm going to be designing a pattern for one of the months. We haven't decided which one yet. So that is for sale and will be linked below. I forgot one more acquisition, a gift. It wasn't an acquisition. I was supposed to be paying for it. This is, you can't see it. I'm going to take a picture of it and I'll insert it up here. It's from my friend Jeanette Walker Jewelry. I had gotten earrings from her, yarn ball earrings. And I said, I'll just do a little close-up video of both pieces. I had asked for a pendant with the same yarn ball design, so she gave that to me in PEI, and yeah, I love it. Love it, love it. So let's do a gift away. I want to gift you with this Knit in One book by Marie Green that I'm knitting the honeycomb beanie, a honeycomb hat out of. I will have that hat finished and I'll be able to send this out. I'm going to also include this skein of Gobsmacked yarn. This is Undercover Orchid that I used for my incognito socks earlier earlier this month, but it's now November. In October, when I released the incognito socks, this was the yarn that I used. So I would like to send this out as a prize, because Merritt very kindly gave me 2 skeins of this yarn. She still has it in her shop. So to win this gift away, the book and the yarn, I will send this anywhere around the world. I would like you to comment below. Just tell me where you're from and use the emoji flag of your country, just for fun. It's just fun to see where everybody is. I also am a bit of a nerd for things like that. I'd like to see what your flag looks like. I always go into the section on my phone for the emojis and see all the different flags when I'm looking for Canada or whatever, and always wonder where a lot of them are from. So comment below with where you're from and put your flag emoji down there for me if you have access to it. If you don't, just tell me where you're from. And I will announce the winner on the next episode, which will be releasing somewhere around November 24th or 25th, after I've gone to see Wicked with Sam. Yay. Just a reminder, I will never message you or ask for any form of payment, so just be aware of any scammers. I will only announce the winner on episode 58 at the end of November. So a gift away. We haven't done one for a while. All right, friends, let's wrap this up. There's been lots of things to talk about and to show you. I probably should have put a warning at the beginning about lots of WIPS. Maybe that's what I'll call this episode. I will see you in 3 weeks, I do believe. Yeah. Yes, in 3 weeks. I will see you in 3 weeks. Don't forget to tell me where you're from, and if you have access, use the flag emoji of your country. And I will see you in 3 weeks. Happy knitting, happy sipping, and I will see you very soon.